Welcome to the Transform Yourself podcast, brought to you by FormFit, where we take a deep dive into the 4 M's of fitness: mind shift, meal shift, micro habits, and muscle building. We are your hosts, Kacy and Tyler Allensworth, and we lost a collective 130 pounds in 2021. We're here to share our insights and practical tips for transforming yourself. So whether you're a fitness enthusiast, a beginner, or maybe you're just curious about making positive changes, Transform Yourself is a go-to source for inspiration, information, and a good dose of motivation. And in this episode, we're going to dive into everything New Year's resolutions, because here we are in January and some of you might have made some New Year's resolutions. I think we're going to start with some statistics about New Year's resolutions. And I went and did a little dig into the internets with New Year's resolution statistics. I did not share them with Tyler. So
I have no idea where we're going.
No,
with this.
I know you don't. I am curious if you could name, I bet you can you name the top 3 most made resolutions? Go. What do you think they are?
It's going to be lose weight.
Yes.
Save money.
Save money is number 4. Top 3.
Top 3. So lose weight.
Lose weight.
Is number 2 and number 3 like iterations?
Lose weight is actually number 3. So what? They're all kind of in the realm. They're related to health.
So it's something.
Yes. If lose weight is number 3 and number 4 is save money or be better with finances, what would number 1 and number 2 be? What do you think?
But they're health related?
Yes.
It would have to be go to the gym.
Yes. Number 1, exercise more.
Okay, exercise more. And the second one is also health related, so eat better.
Yep, that's it. You got it. Number 1, 2, and 3. I know, they're all the same. Yeah. I get it. But yes, exercise more is the number 1 most popular New Year's resolution, and it has been for, like a good decade.
Since they started keeping that statistic?
Yes, yes. So eat healthier is number 2, and number 3 is losing weight. Quiz. Next question. How many Americans who make resolutions complete their resolution in percentages?
Is it single digits?
It is single digits.
Is it under 5%?
It is not under 5%.
So that leaves me 5% to work with here. So I'm going to guess 7.5%.
It is 9%. 9% of Americans. I'm proud. That's almost 1 out of every 10. That's not terrible. It's not
for
great.
setting a goal.
For setting a goal, that's not terrible.
And keeping up with it for 1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
10% of the population is able to accomplish that.
Next quiz question.
That's not, you know what? That kind of work ethic is not what won WW2. I can tell you that.
What?
God, just move on.
World War II. Got it. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. What percentage of people quit their resolution by week 1?
By week 1?
By the first week. By the end of the first week, what percentage of people quit completely?
60%?
23%. So not terrible.
So 20% of people who make...
Like almost a quarter. Almost a quarter of people quit by 7 days in.
Okay.
Right? What's the percentage of people that quit by the end of January?
It probably skyrockets
to... It's...
50?
43.
Okay.
43%. Most people who quit, this is a fun little statistic, and I remember reading this in prior years. Most people quit by the end of the second Friday in January. By the way, that happened in 2024. That will be January 12th.
So January 12th is the day for normal gym goers to go back and be like, good, all the quitters are gone.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yes.
So we can all get back on our high horse.
Yes, we can.
The losers have left. We can get back on the Smith machine.
Right. So January 12th. So the second Friday, and I've read this before, of January is known as Quitters Day. I feel like I should get a shirt that like says Quitters Day on it or something. Or
we could say No Quitters Day.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like it. Yeah.
We can be the force of change.
Let's do it. No Quitters Day.
But we can only do it through shameless self-promotion and selling t-shirts.
Right.
You can find this at our merch store at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com.
Have you decided on any New Year's resolutions for 2024? Do you have any?
For me?
Yes, yes, that is correct. That is the next quiz question. It's all about you, Tyler. Have you made any New Year's resolutions?
No, I haven't even thought about it.
Oh, did you know that 19 to 25, like that's the age group that makes resolutions the most? And then the older you get, the more likely you are to not make a resolution. Interesting, right?
I would file that in the category of no duh, because 19 to 25, you're full of life and like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. 35, 40-year-olds around and be like, everything is rigged against me. Like, right. I'm going to burn this mother down. It's like, I just need to make it to Friday. Just working for the weekend. Right. You know, you've been beaten down by life.
I mean, it's okay if you want to make a resolution in February. Like, nobody said you had to make one in January. So if you feel the need in February to make one, let me know. I'm here for it.
I'm not against resolutions.
Okay. Resolutions, really, they're just goals. It's just another way of saying I have a goal.
Yeah,
right?
It's basically a Hallmark version of a goal.
It is. I also have not really made any resolutions. I know here I am trying to encourage people to set goals. However, I've not really made any resolutions yet. It doesn't mean I won't have goals. I will tell you that when I was in my whole weight loss journey and I had lost the weight, about by the end of 2021 is when I lost the weight. In 2022, I decided I was going to get a journal and going to start journaling because I keep hearing other people say, you should journal. So I got a journal and I wrote 3 things. And on that front page, it says, I want to get to 135 pounds. So let me remind you that I lost most of my weight already, but I wasn't yet at 135 pounds. And for some reason, in my mind, that was just my goal weight, what I wanted to get to. That was I probably had about another 10 to 15 pounds at that point to lose to get to 135 pounds. And my next one was get arm and ab muscles. I don't know why I didn't care about glute muscles or any other muscles. For some reason, I just really wanted arm and ab muscles. Legs, didn't care about them.
In the biz, we call those beach muscles.
Yeah. They were.
Yeah, the vanity muscles. That's okay.
Yeah. The third thing I wrote down was start a social media following, which I laugh now that those 3 things were my resolutions in January of 2022. So let me be really clear here. And I want to explain that I had set New Year's resolutions plenty of years before. Like, I can't even count the number of times I set the resolution. I was a part of that 43% of people that was like, I'm going to lose weight this year. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat healthier. I had set those 3 resolutions over and over and over again, and I had failed at them. Over and over and over again. So writing these goals down in 2022 wasn't some kind of magical year. Somebody didn't just come and sprinkle pixie dust on me. That's not what made the difference between me getting to the goal and me not. So it wasn't magic. Instead, what it was consistency. What it was setting up systems. In fact, in Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about it's not the goals that differentiate the winners from the losers. It's the person that sets up a system, or the team that sets up a system in place. And not just a system, but like a very intentional, clear, specific system in place so that you can get to your goal. And that's what I did. It was a little different than what I had done before. James Clear also says that in order to make a new habit stick, you have to make it easy. I think all the other years I set myself up for failure because I would say, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to work out more. And if I did try to create a system, the system was not sustainable. The system was, I'm going to go to the gym and work out an hour a day every day. That was not going to happen. It might happen for the first week or 2 weeks. I might quit on Quitter's Day.
Yeah, because that goes back to the motivation versus discipline. Everyone's super motivated in January. You turn on the TV. Is Bally's still a gym?
I worked at Bally's. I did.
Can we talk about Bally's commercials in the 90s for a second?
Sure, go for it.
They're kind of sexy.
Were they? Oh, they were.
They were right. Everyone was like super attractive, and it was like black and white or sepia tone.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like super sweaty.
I was once a group fitness instructor at Bally's Total Fitness, and I was hot shit at the time, or so I thought.
Yeah. Keep it up, ladies. Woo.
Yes. That was in my 20s, way before marriage and children and all of the other things. The 2022 goals. I did happen to meet my 2022 goals. Not all at the same time, but I did meet them because I had let go of the all or nothing mindset. I said I wanted to eat healthier, but I wasn't telling myself I'm going to stop eating all carbs. I'm going to stop it. All of those things, just restrictive dieting was never, ever successful. And so why would I think it was going to be successful if I tried it again? I knew that it couldn't be restrictive. I knew that working out couldn't be something that I set up as an hour a day every day. I knew that I had to set up systems that were easy and felt easy, didn't feel hard. I didn't want to struggle with my new habits because I wanted them to be natural. I wanted them to feel natural. Mm-hmm. In that same exact journal, that's where that was the birthplace of what I call my habit tracker. And some of you might be familiar with that. I have it on my website at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com. Basically, it looks like a calendar grid. I literally drew a bunch of small little calendar grids. I would write down a goal at the top of each one of the little grids, and each little square would represent a day. One of my goals in January of 2022 was to walk 7.5 thousand steps a day. I knew that everybody else around me was trying to walk 10,000 steps a day, but I also knew from looking at my own watch that wasn't something I was doing, and so it may not be achievable for me if I try to do it. So why don't I set my goal somewhere where I will be successful? So I set it 7.5 thousand steps. I not only set it there, but I also wrote down, I was super, super clear. I wrote down that I only wanted to reach that goal 60% of the time. I wasn't trying to reach 7.5 thousand steps 100% of the days of the month. If I could do 7.5 thousand steps per day, 60, like a little over half the time, then maybe I could consider myself winning. I took the data on it and I was able to calculate that I actually met that goal at 71% of the time. And so that very next month, I started a whole new grid. And in February, I moved from 7.5 thousand steps to 8,000 steps per day. Same thing with working out. Like when I set my workout goal, I only set a workout goal to work out 20 minutes per day, 3 days a week, or 55% of the time. So really kind of like 3.5 days a week. But that's an hour a week. That's not an hour a day. That's an hour a week. That's it. Like I couldn't say no to working out 20 minutes a day, 3 times per week. I thought if I said no to that, you would have to make some major excuses to not get it. And this was not at a gym. This was in the garage with dumbbells and a mat. Super easy. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't even have to really change clothes to do it. I didn't even put on tennis shoes because I hated wearing tennis shoes while I worked out. I do not recommend that, by the way, because you will drop a dumbbell on your toe at some point and it hurts. It's not something I recommend, but it was a barrier for me. And so I removed all barriers and set a really easy goal. Really, in 2021, when I lost most of my weight, I was not working out. I really wish I had started working out earlier or sooner. Really, I didn't have myself wrapped around mind shift, meal shift, and micro habits just yet. So I knew it was going to take a little bit more work. Muscle building comes last for a reason. It is there to support sustainability of weight loss because muscle will burn more calories per day than fat will. It will help sustain your weight loss. It will help longevity. That's a whole nother podcast.
So basically what you're saying is your original goals
yes,
were attainable.
They were. Well, I think everybody's New Year's resolutions are attainable.
Well, it's technically possible I could become president.
You could.
Technically possible.
Tyler for president 2024.
The point I'm trying to make is you made a goal that was reasonable for you at that time versus I think the problem with a lot of people is they want to lose 50 pounds. I don't know, I'm just picking a number.
But before you move on, let me stop you for a second because I think if somebody does pick, I want to lose 50 pounds in January and they want to do that by December, that is absolutely possible. So I think
yes,
we're speaking different.
But don't you think that I'm talking starting off. You're at a 0.
Yeah. So if they write that as their goal, overarching goal, great. However, they should create. So what you're saying is that people should create small, attainable goals along the path, along the journey. Yes?
Yeah. I mean, because if you had to start off with a huge goal when you've had 0 success, you're just getting started. Like, that's a giant hill to climb. How could that not be why most people drop out in the first whatever it was, 30 days,
I would
days?
argue that most people drop out because of the first M of form, fit, mind shift. And I 100% believe that. And here's why. Let me explain. Because when you say they're setting a monumental goal of, taking your example, I want to lose 50 pounds, the person that drops out may have even lost 4 pounds in the first month, right? Like, say they started in January and they lost 4 pounds in January, and they're like, oh, and that person has the thought, oh my goodness, I have another 46 pounds to lose. Oh my gosh, this seems like I've only lost 4 pounds in January. That right there, that is the wrong mind shift. So that right there
I'll give you that.
So that's why person A who has that goal is going to quit. But say person B has that exact same goal to lose 50 pounds. They lost 4 pounds in January. And instead their mindset is, wow, I've lost 4 pounds in January. That means by February, I should be 8 pounds down. Wow. This is fantastic. Look at me. I'm winning. The difference is nothing other than mind shift. It's nothing other than their mindset and where they're at. And the person who stays the course and has the right mind shift is going to be more consistent and is going to be able to get to that goal. So mind shift, it's always going to come first.
Okay. So I think we both agree, because I would say goal setting, good or bad, is clearly it's a mental thing. I'm not conceding my point, but I think we're on the same page. I think we actually agree.
I agree that we agree.
Okay.
Isn't that nice?
That doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't. Reflecting on those 2022 goals that I wrote down in my journal, why was I successful? And it all kind of comes down to exactly that. What's funny is I wrote down number 1. Set very tiny achievable goals. So what we just argued and agreed about was number 1. So
hell yeah.
It's
almost like maybe I should have read whatever you have typed out beforehand.
Yeah. Setting a big goal for your resolution's fine, but the small little stepping stones that you're going to set along the way to get yourself there is critical in getting yourself there.
It's the exact same thing as setting a budget at work, where it's like you've got a budget of X for the year, but X is made up of, I'm not even going to do a million because the math is too hard. If you want to sell $12 million a year, you have to do $1 million a month. So it just breaks it up. You got to eat a whale a bite at a time, or an elephant 1 bite at a time.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct.
And that's a good nugget right there, huh?
It is.
That should be a ringtone.
And the second reason I wrote down of why I was successful was exactly what James Clear said and exactly what I did. I put systems in place. I was very clear. We've all heard of the SMART goal, right? So everybody's employer has told them, write a SMART goal, specific and measurable and all of those things. Attainable. Realistic. Is that right? Is that what the R is?
I think so.
Yeah.
Although attainable and realistic is kind of...
I guess it is kind of the same. We're probably butchering this.
But we're also talking about corporate America, so it's going to be some stupid acronym. Stand up for your rights, and then make sure, and then articulate,
what?
Then readdress.
Are you talking about?
Transform. That was smart.
Was it?
It wasn't very good, but it was.
Oh, SMART goals. Be very clear. If you set a New Year's resolution already and you said to yourself, I want to work out more. Okay, great. But how are you going to do that? Like, ask yourself all the questions. How are you going to work out more? How many days a week are you going to work out? How much time are you going to give to those workouts? Where are those workouts going to happen? Answer all of those questions and then write it down and then track it if you want to, because what's measurable can be mastered.
If it's a goal, you have to measure it, because otherwise, how would you even know?
How would you know if you're reaching it? Exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, weight's easy because you can I can go right now, weigh
and
myself.
Get on a scale. Correct.
But if you're talking about workouts or all of the things that might help with weight loss that are like supporting an overall goal, yeah, you have to have some method of tracking.
And I didn't just track workouts. I tracked steps. Like I said, I tracked water, how much I was drinking per day. Was I getting my water goal in every day? Was I still in a calorie deficit every day? Was I working out? How many times a week was I working out? So there were all kinds of things that I was tracking. And I had systems in place for all of my tiny pieces that added up. And finally, the last thing I wrote down for why I was successful was because I was consistent. And that's it. Very consistent, acting on the systems that I had put in place. But the reason I was consistent is because I made each goal so easy. If I had made my goal to work out an hour a day, 6 days a week, I for sure would not have been consistent. I would have probably quit or given up very easily. When I saw that I was successful at 20 minutes 3 times a week, success breeds success. I wanted to continue to see success. When I saw on my own habit tracker, which was literally pinned to the side of our refrigerator, I would think, okay, great. I was successful last week. I want to be successful again this week. I would continue to see success, and then I would continue to increase my goal just little by little every month. And now I am the gym rat. Now I became that person. I identify as I am the person who goes to the gym, but I really love it and enjoy it now. And to think when I first got in the garage and could barely do 3 push-ups, it was hard. But now I look back and I think it didn't happen overnight. It took a long time. It took tiny achievable goals, systems in place, and consistency. And that's what it took. So there was no magic with resolutions. Resolutions are goals that are achievable, but you have to put your systems in place. You have to make them achievable, and you have to be consistent. Thank you for tuning in, and we encourage you to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And remember that transforming yourself is within the realm of the decisions that you make today.
I like it.
Why are you laughing?
I like it. I've never heard. I haven't heard.
It was
this
our outro. That's
it's
our outro.
Good. I like it. It's good.
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like I need to say something to contribute, but I don't have anything. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to do some self-reflection, set some goals.
Okay. This year, our actual goal is to publish 52 podcasts that cover the 4 M's of fitness: mind shift, meal shift, microhabits, and muscle building. And we're going to share practical tips on how you can transform yourself. We'll have episodes called Love Handles, a playbook on asking your loved one for weight loss support, and Protein Power Hour. We'll teach you the art of easy meal planning, and we'll also discuss how to overcome internal and external triggers to overeating. And if you're looking for weight loss resources, or you need to calculate your calorie deficit, or you're just looking for low-calorie cookbooks, you can find all things at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com.